What up, all? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you all. Happy Friday. Put happy Friday in the chat. I want your fingers moving and shaking today. Put happy Friday in the chat. Put happy Friday in the chat. Put it in there. Spell it out there. Even if you misspell it, I still will accept it here today. There is no spelling. There is no spelling bee on here. I just got done doing. How many of you remember, put a 6 in the chat if you remember spelling bees. Put a 6 in the chat if you remember. My mom used to be like, Brock, you need to know this. She has a high pitch voice. Brock, I need you to spell the word butterfly. Spell the word butterfly. Like butterfly. I'm like, I don't know, mom. I mean, I get to like the third word, and I was probably like terrible with I know I was terrible with my parents. I'm like, no, I don't want it. I don't want, why do I need to spell this? Now I wish I could say like, Mom, there's Grammarly, there's apps. I can go ask Alexa. Why do I need to know any of this type of stuff? It's crazy what goes on. Bryce, oh, Dad, how do you spell this? I was like, go ask Alexa. I don't, just go ask Alexa. Right, John Hart? Right, John Hart? Good morning, everybody. Happy Figured Out Friday edition. Shout out to Michelle and Todd Harris last week of doing the author's edition. Speaking of author's edition, look what came into my, oh, can you see it? A little glare there, a little book focus now by our guest that we have on Figured Out Friday. And he sent me a nice little message in here. So that was very nice of you, Kevin. I'm excited to have you as our guest this morning. And I got something funny I'm going to share with you guys here in a minute. But first and foremost, I got my shirt on, my boy, Jim Morris. Jim Morris, his girl Rachel's on here, producer Rachel. There she is. She's on here too. They just asked me this morning to be on their show to help them with my book. Not help them, but talk about my book, Turning Scripts into Conversation. So much fun stuff on this Friday. Put an 8 in the chat if you're having fun on this Friday. No, I didn't take any extra caffeine. I did not take any extra caffeine. I just want to know if you're having fun on this Friday. If you having a good Friday. Guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. My week's been hell. It has been hell in a handbasket. It has just been one challenge after next. Coming back from spring break with my kids, it was just, I'm like, holy smokes, but I'm going to finish strong. I'm going to finish this Friday strong, and we got an amazing guest. So good morning, everybody. My name is Coach Brock Z-Van, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a D.A.D. My daughter, Brielle, she's got soccer. She's a fighter. She had strep throat. And I said, yesterday, I said, you still going to play Saturday? What do you got going? Dad, I'll play. I said, that's the attitude I like to hear. We're going to play on Saturday. So she's going to be playing soccer, Jada. She is playing soccer. What up, Louie? Amy, good morning to you. John Root. So, guys, you all know I study the DISC personality, right? You all know I study the DISC. Tony Robbins, I study it. I use it to help real estate agents have conversations to convert at a high level. So why do I say that? Not because I want to talk myself up, but to tell you, so Kevin sends this to me, y'all. He's the first person ever to send me speaker notes of the guest speaker, ever. He's like, hey, Brock, I just want to send this to you. I was like, damn, man. I like that about you. I like these notes that we got over here. He's the first person ever. I've been doing this for 5 years, all. First person ever to send me notes about what he's got going on. And I was just like, can we take a guess what personality Kevin is over here? Our D's are like this. I don't know. I'll just talk whatever the hell you want me to talk about. How long do I got? What do you need? Rebecca's laughing because that's exactly when I talk to D's. It's just like, I was like, hey, could you just tell me a little bit about yourself? What do you want me to talk about? I can talk about anything. How long do you want it? 15 minutes, 30 minutes? What do you want? What do you want? You know, the emotional, the high eyes. Well, Brock, where would you like me to begin? I can start back in my high school days when it's like, and then my S's. Well, Brock, what is the time frame? Could you give me some specifics exactly what it is? 5 minutes for my intro, 2 minutes for my intro? What do you want my intro to be about? Do you want to be about my business, my personal? I'm like, and you know what I love about Kevin? He's an amazing man. I just got to meet him. He was on one of our guests that we had a couple weeks ago, and he's been with us ever since. He hasn't missed a day in 3 weeks, all. He hasn't missed a day in 3 weeks. John Hart, he's going to give John Hart a little run for his money because John Hart never misses. John Hart never misses. Several of you never miss, but I always like to call on John Hart. But Kevin Jones, he's consistent, man. He hasn't missed a day at all. Mike Kastner used to have that. Then he went on the Good Samaritan. He started to do charity and stuff. I mean, what type of guy is that? I'm just joking, Mike. But so he wasn't so he's always there. My Aunt Muriel, my godmother's here. But guys, give me some love. This man is in California, West Coast. He brought some people here with him. I'm not too sure. I see Mark on here. I see Amy on here. See a couple new people on here. So Karen, give him some fives, give him some love. Let's welcome our main man, Mr. Kevin Jones, to the stage. Good morning to you, Kevin.
Good morning, Powerhouse. How are you doing?
Yeah, he nicknamed me Powerhouse too. I like that. I like that nickname. At first I was just like Powerhouse. Huh. So I'm coming to humbly, I'm coming to it. Somebody's gonna be here. Oh, there he goes, pumping up his ego again. No, I do. So thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you for sharing that. I appreciate your book, man. That was a highlight. Bryce was like, Dad, what's that? He's like, Dad, did I get a gift? I said, no, I don't know. Let me take a look. He's like, oh, it's a book. I was like, well, give it to me then, Bryce. Give it to me then. So thank you very much for that. So tell us a little bit about Kevin. Tell us where you are calling us from, because I know you're on the West Coast, but for those that don't know you, I've had the pleasure of spending some one-on-one time with you. But for those that don't know you, give us like a 10,000 overview of yourself and where you're at.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to live here in an amazing place. And yes, Mark and Amy and several other people are here. Thank you. We all live in Pismo Beach. We're about halfway between LA and San Francisco on the central coast of California.
Wow. Wow. I remember we were talking about the fires and all that stuff and all the destruction that you've seen with that. And so just blessed to be able to have you and your crew and your family here. Isn't it great to have the supporters and those that came on here for the first time to support Kevin? Thank you so much for being here. And we encourage, that's how it really starts. The new people come on Fridays and sometimes they never leave. And Kevin is one of those type of people. And we're so blessed and fortunate to have our family, because Fridays are usually typically your hardest days. Why? Because everybody's on vacation, getting ready to shut it down and everything else. But we've been blessed and fortunate that Fridays have been a very, very high audience for us because of the guests that they bring to the show. So please keep coming back. So part of our Figured Out Friday is we bring people on to share some of their things that they've had to figure it out. Okay, for those that don't know my story, you can go look it up on my Facebook and YouTube page, which you can subscribe to our channel. But there were some really dark days in my life where I had to figure it out. This week, I had to figure out quite a few things. I had to figure out some stuff that is not, not fun, but that's life. And God gives us gifts and God gives us talents and God gives us faith for us to believe that we are going to get through things. So, Kevin, before I ask for you to start off with some of your defining moments, some of your figure out moments, what is it that you do today? Tell us a little bit about what you do, your family, a little bit about you, because you were one of the early bloomers compared to me as a late bloomer of almost 47 with a 6-year-old and still, taking naps. Tell me a little bit about your family and what you do.
So I'm in real estate, been in real estate 33 years, been married 40 years. And I'm just so blessed, the most amazing person in the world who I'm married to, and another Figure Out Friday possibly could be how she saved my life.
Mm,
Yeah. So no, yeah, we do residential, commercial, real estate, and property management. So
wow, you do it all. You do it all. That's pretty. In So I always allow the guests to pick their moments. I say to them, I said, pick 2 defining moments that you have that you would like to share with us. Now, these defining moments all are typically moments that trigger emotion, usually they're not going to like a blissful moment. Brock, let me just tell you how I was able to spend all this money because I won it. Like, these aren't moments like that. These are moments that are challenging. These are moments where I want you to lean in because some of you today might be going through something. Some of you today might be going through something that you think you're alone, and I want to tell you you're not. You're not alone. Somebody's been through your pain, your problems, but there's a promise on the other side. So Kevin, kind of walk us through one of your figured out moments, one of your defining moments that you've had in your life that you'd like to share with our audience today to help somebody with the leaning ear.
You know, and Brock, I'm really into scripts. 33 years of doing real estate. I'm all 100% scripted. I'm gonna go off script a little bit from what I sent you. If any one of you ever has a moment that you can't figure it out and you need help, call me, text me. I'll drop what I'm doing to help you. So it's I do that for veterans in my area. I work with homeless quite a bit, and part of what I'm going to share with you today is part of my speeches that I do with homeless people that are at risk. And but thank you, Brock. You know, the for the honor, for the privilege and the opportunity to be a part of this amazing group and to allow me to speak. You know, we're all on this journey that we call life, and some of us have a journey that's more colorful than others. One of my first defining moments was when I got kicked out of my house at the age of 15 for drugs. I was homeless by 16. And boy, this was an eye opener. You learn to grow up real quick. But luckily, I met my wife before becoming homeless. And amazingly, she stuck with me through some of the craziest times of my life. We all need to have moments of struggle, just like the butterfly needs to have that struggle to get out of the cocoon to get that blood in its wings. The blood doesn't go in the wings, it never flies. For me, my first major mental mindset shift was when I was 16 years old. I was alone, I was homeless. You know, I was sitting on the curb in front of the Cinerama Dome in Hollywood with my feet defiantly out in the street. I mean, where literally they could get run over. Just sitting there throwing my own little pity party without a penny in my pocket. I hadn't eaten that day, didn't know where I was going to sleep, didn't know if I was going to eat that day. All my worldly possessions were in this radio duffel bag that was my father's from Vietnam. And then life changed. This beautiful blue and silver Rolls Royce with a kid about my age pulls up, listening to the music that I absolutely love. And you could just tell by looking at him, he was on top of the world. And then my first thought is, why does he have it and I don't? Then I got angry and I started feeling sorry for myself. You know, this young kid looked over me, smiled, and gave me a nod. And right at that moment, I promised myself that I would do whatever it took to buy that car, that exact car, and be in that driver's seat. And that was one of the few days that absolutely changed my life. It was a major figure it out moment. I got up, I went into the Cinerama Dome Theater, I asked for an application, and the girl that was there said, "We're not hiring." I kept asking for the application. They kept denying me. So I asked for a manager. And the manager came out after a little bit of time and asked I asked him for an application. And he said he wasn't hiring. And I said, "I understand, but can I have an application anyways?" He stood there for a brief moment, just kind of looked at me. And he said, "Hold on." And he went and got an application and handed it to me with a pen. I immediately proceeded to go ahead and fill out that application on the spot. And when I was done, I asked for the manager to turn it in. The same girl said, "He's not available." And I said, "That's fine. I'll sit here and I'll wait for him." After a considerable amount of time, I seen the manager, came over, gave him the application, and he politely reiterated that they were not hiring. And I thanked him for the opportunity. And I said, "I have just one question." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "There's something around here that you need done. Maybe other employees don't want to do." And I explained that I'd be willing to work the rest of the shift, which was about 8 hours, about 2 p.m. They close about midnight. I said, all you got to do is feed me. Something came over me and I did something I'd never done before at a level that taught me to be focused and stay focused. And that day changed my life. I learned that I have the power to control my mind. And if I take action, great things will come. So
Hey,
we all
Kevin,
have a choice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to ask you a question. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool because I can see what he's doing through the script here, and want to want to stop something for a minute here. If you haven't heard the story, I don't know if you've heard the story, Kevin, but your story is exactly. I want you to, if you can write this stuff down, I want you to write this down. I want you to go to YouTube today and I want you to write in Les Brown, I'm hungry. And if you haven't heard of that story and you're not listening and you're listening to Kevin Jones's story, this is identical on what happened to Les Brown, who's one of the most noted motivational speakers in the world, on what Kevin's sharing with you here. Because how many times, think about it all. When you play a sport, does the coach ever say to you, hey, don't eat before you come to the game? Make sure you're starving? No. Why? Because when you have a full belly, you play at your highest performance. When you have energy, you're playing at a high level. And here's Kevin, freaking starving. Think about the last time you were hungry and you just want to go at it. I don't know about you, but I'm not thinking about getting at it. I'm thinking about food. That's all I'm thinking about. And here's this man, this young age, who's been told by adults numerous of times, no, we're not hiring. No, I'm sorry, get out of here, kid. No, we're not going to take your application. I will work for 8 hours today if you just feed me. I want you to think about that all. That's what he's working for food. What drives me crazy, nothing against anybody who's got anything like this, Kevin, but it drives me crazy because what you did, Kevin, is the same thing I always want to say to the people when I'm at an exit or I'm at a stop sign and those people that hold up the cardboard signs will work, pay me for food. Like, do you have any money? I'm hungry. I want to be like, stop your freaking sign and go ask somebody for a job. Go get some work and say, I'll work for food. I'll work for my family, just like you did right there, Kevin. I just want to be fed. Hats off to you, man, for doing that. And I really encourage people to listen to that Les Brown because the title's I'm hungry. And that's what you were. And somebody on here is hungry, and it might not be for food, but it might be to pay your debt. It might be for your credit card. It might be when I was trying to pay my kids to go to McDonald's when I was shortchanged, when I went to the drive-through and I was working, driving freaking Uber to pretend that my life was blissful. So, Kevin, I don't know if you realize your story and the magnitude of the impact that you just had right there, not only for myself, but I want to make sure it's reiterated to those with the listening ears that that is powerful no matter what age you are and what you just did right there. Because you all have a choice. You can bitch, whine, and moan right now, or you can go back to the manager and say, I'll do whatever it takes. So hats off to you, Kevin, on that. I'll let you continue, but I just want to acknowledge at that age and what you were doing to set yourself up for the rest of your life with that mindset. Sorry, I
You
had
know,
to say it. I had to say it.
yeah, and Brock, it was a great life lesson, but man, it was directly out of survival. It was directly out of survival. But it was a major lesson that I think about every single day. And it's just
But
so the
sometimes we have to get to those moments to freaking get our head out of our ass,
100%, 100%,
right?
100%. I was going to share two things where I'm not going to have time to share the second one, but I'm going to finish up on this first one.
Yeah, man. No, go ahead, brother.
So he said, yeah, I've got this storage locker. that I've put 3 people for 8 hours to get this thing clean, and they can't get it clean. So I'm just gonna brief this down real quick. In 3 hours, I went in, I took everything out of the storeroom. I went and was resourceful. I found a mop, a bucket, a broom, dustpan, all that stuff. I cleaned it all up. I scrubbed it, and I put everything back. And I'm back upstairs 3 hours later, and this manager goes, he just kind of looked at me and he goes, "Yeah," and I go, "I'm done." And he was just like, "There's no way you're done." So we walked down there, and he was just absolutely shocked. I mean, he goes, "How'd you do this in 3 hours?" And long story short, he fed me, he hired me. I got my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife. I got a few of my friends that work there. And you never know where things are going to come from. But, the Cinerama Dome was the major theater at that time, and I didn't realize it for all the movie openings. So, like the next week, I don't know if it was the next week, but soon after that, Star Trek came out. We got to meet William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, which later I met through real estate as well. He's a major apartment investor in LA. But yeah, it's don't ever sell yourself short. Don't ever do anything. Don't When you get into those pity parties, you got to remember that it's a mind game, and you've got to play a game with yourself and do whatever it takes to get yourself out. And once you believe it, whatever it may be, anything is possible. Anything is possible, right, Brock?
Anything, nothing is impossible with God. That's what I've learned. There's nothing that's impossible. He makes the impossible possible. Um, I'm still like just in shock. I was writing down resourceful. I mean, you you have the same tools. I mean, it's the same room, the same mess, the same everything, and it takes other people so long to do, couldn't even complete it, and you complete it in 3 hours.
It's all in the focus, man. It's all in the focus. Anything we do, everything we do. And that's why the first book I sent you was Focus Now. If you like it, let me know. I'll send you the next one, Mindset Now. It's chapter by chapter, it's the exact same thing, but instead of being 2 to 3 pages each chapter, this is 200 some pages. It just builds upon it. That book is focused 100% on building your mindset first thing in the morning, and this one's for the rest of the day. But it's all about that mindset. We have life is a perception. No matter what happens, Brock, Mark, Rebecca, all everybody on here, we're having a different experience. We're all perceiving this in a different way. You put that apple on the table of 10 people, they're going to have 10 different perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to challenge you. What is your perception? How clearly are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And how focused are you going to be to get where you need or want to be? That's what I love about this group, man. You guys are so empowering to me every single day. You probably see me sitting there. I'm just shaking my head. I'm smiling. And then I shared with Brock, I'm a note taker.
Mm-hmm.
This is about a week and a half of different things. These are 4x6 cards. And now I made a big mess. But yeah, it's take notes. Go back and read them. I mean, I can go back here. Here's 17 April. I can tell you exactly what happened on the 5 a.m. club. Here's Brock. Derek Green was there hunting for the good stuff. I go back to these notes and I read them throughout the days. Things start getting me down. Boom, right on it. Make it happen. Enjoy life.
When he showed me all his note cards, I was like blown away for what it is. And what I love about it is, I know we're going a little off topic, but sometimes these are real moments. Is we rely on artificial intelligence. Let me just get the transcript from artificial intelligence. Hey, ChatGPT, create the greatest 5 notes from this transcript, and here you go. And we place it, and we put it in Google Sheet, we have an Excel sheet, and we have it. But guess what? That's the smartest Excel sheet there is, because I never go back to it. And if you didn't catch this, and I'll just point blank say it, when shit happens, what does he do? He goes back to the moments that got him through it, which he goes back to his notes and he reads it. When people say, Brock, how do you get out of this? Kevin, how do you get out of this? Mark, Rebecca, Michelle, Christian. You go back to the energy, the positive energy that gets you through that noise, because the noise will eventually subside. I've never met a hurricane. I've never seen a hurricane stay in the same spot more than a month. Never. Even the worst category 5 never stays in the same spot. It will move. So, Kevin, what is it today that you're trying to figure out, brother? What are you trying to figure out today?
I'd like to before I answer, I'd like to fast forward 20 years. Almost 20 years to the day I meet this gentleman, Mike McClanahan. He's a professional poker player in Las Vegas. He is a Rolls Royce collector. I go to buy a vehicle from him. My wife and I drive out there with the kids. And I tell him my story, the story I just got done telling you guys, and he goes, follow me. We go to the building next door. He opens the door, and there is my holy grail in his private collection. Minimal miles, not a single scratch. I mean, this thing is perfect. And he goes, after that story, there's no way I can't sell it to you. He didn't only sell it to me, he went and got his logbook and he sold it to me for $500 over what he was in it.
Wow.
And so 20 years later, my wife and I are driving home from Las Vegas, and she said that is the most memorable trip that she ever took coming back from Las Vegas. Got to take my grandmother out for her 90th birthday in a Rolls Royce. This is a lady that grew up in Arkansas as a cotton picker. Both my grandparents didn't graduate high school. And for her to go to Duke's and in Huntington Beach in a Rolls Royce, she said she'll remember that the rest of her life. But what am I trying to figure out today?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second before I go leave that story real quick. So when you were 16, you said you wanted to buy a Rolls Royce.
No, I didn't say I want to. I made the commitment to myself. I promised myself 100% I will have that exact car.
And how many years did it take you?
20 years. Overnight success always takes 20 years. I knew where you were going with that, brother.
Exactly. So some of you on here are bitching, whining, and moaning because it's taking you 20 days, 20 weeks, 20 months. Don't stop where you want to grow and where you want to go. And you know what he said to me? You corrected me immediately, Kevin. You said it's not what I want. I was committed. And some of you are getting mixed up just the way I said it with want versus commit. And I'd write that down on a piece of paper. Want versus committed. And write that down underneath your wants and write down what you're willing to commit to. Because that was a huge lesson right there that you just taught us. So we're going to run out of time, as always, on Figured Out Friday.
Sorry about that.
So tell me, then let's do this. Because of time, I want to make sure people get your one thing. Okay? We'll get the notes out to you all on this because he literally has notes for us. What's the one thing, and all his stuff on for those that might have to go at 8:45, all his stuff, his book, you want to get his book, his LinkedIn, his Facebook, it's all in the chat. So make sure you screenshot it, you copy it, and you go to it. We'll also put it on my YouTube channel. So make sure you click on that. But what's the one thing, Kevin? What's the one thing of everything that you got that you want to leave us with today?
Be direct and give your heart to somebody today. Just I'm a black and white person. I say it like it is, no filter. When I meet somebody that does that, it's absolutely refreshing. But do something for somebody today that they can never repay you. Maybe a smile. And interesting enough, it's been almost 40 years. Well, it's been over 40 years since I was homeless. I've only had 4 homeless people take me up on buying them food. That's one a decade. You and I all know how many people ask us for stuff. I never give them money because I know what I do with the money. Do something, that no one can repay you. And it could be just someone being down and you smile at them, you wave to them, you say hello. And remember this one thing, this has run across the last week multiple times. You can't love somebody else until you love yourself. Give yourself some love. And once you do that, just pour that love onto everybody you meet.
Man. Guys, put some fives in the chat. Type in love in the chat. Put some hearts in the chat. Either one of those things on what Kevin's story shared with us today. We're going to make sure that we get his story out in our YouTube, in our Facebook channel. Do something nobody can repay you for. I love that. I love that. That what you said that. And I just said to myself, and I wrote down 3, and I got to do 3 of those today. I don't know why I always use 3, but I guess 3 is a good number for me. 3 is a good number for me. Kevin, I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you, man. It's been great getting to know you. I mean, literally, y'all, I've only known Kevin for about a month, and I feel like I've known him my life. It's just amazing, amazing. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you being on here. I appreciate everybody's taking a little extra time. I know we usually end at 8:45, but I appreciate you guys taking time. I appreciate the new people being on here. For those that come back, Jay, make sure we put, after everybody give you a lot of loves, a lot of hearts, got a lot of 5s on here, put in the chat again. There it is. Man, I tell you, Jay is freaking on it. There's his information. All you want his book, you want his stuff, put it on there. I can't wait to read your book. I actually have it planned this weekend. Sunday evening is when I'm planning on reading it. There's no football on yet. So even though the draft was yesterday, I watched the draft. Guys, Kevin, love you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody being on here. Guys, we'll be back Monday morning at 8:15 Eastern time. I'll be your host with Mornings with Maxwell. I'll be going over one of my next laws, my next law in the real estate world, and how you can transform your business to make more money in your life with some mindset and using these 5 tactics that I got. So appreciate y'all. God bless you. Have a safe and amazing weekend. See ya.